Imagine stumbling upon a dusty, forgotten manuscript in the archives of Florence, penned by the hand of Niccolò di Bernardo de Machiavelli himself, a secret treatise not meant for the eyes of the common man, but for those daring enough to ascend the ladder of the mind. In it, he reveals not just the art of power, but the very architecture of human intelligence, forged in the fires of Renaissance intrigue, betrayal, and triumph. What if the man who taught princes how to rule had also mapped the soul's cleverest paths? Read on, dear reader, and discover where you stand among the 7 levels, for in these pages lies the key to outwitting fate itself. I, Niccolò di Bernardo de Machiavelli, born under the Tuscan sun on the 3rd day of May in the year of our Lord 1469, have spent my life observing the follies and fortunes of men. From the bustling streets of Florence to the shadowed courts of kings, I have seen intellect not as a single flame, but as a pyramid of 7 ascending levels. Each level builds upon the last, separating the beast from the sage, the pawn from the prince. This is no mere philosophy. It is a blueprint drawn from the blood and ink of history. Allow me to guide you through them, weaving the tale of my own ascent, for in my story, you may find the mirror of your own soul. Let us begin at the base, where all men start. Level 1, instinctual intelligence, the raw cunning of survival. In my youth, Florence was a cauldron of chaos. The Medici ruled with an iron fist wrapped in velvet, but the streets whispered of rebellion. I was but a boy of 10 when the Pazzi Conspiracy erupted in 1478, a bloody plot to assassinate Lorenzo de' Medici and his brother Giuliano during Easter Mass in the Duomo. I remember the screams echoing through the piazza as daggers flashed in the holy light. Giuliano fell, pierced 20 times, his blood staining the altar. Lorenzo escaped, wounded but alive, and the city exploded in vengeance. The conspirators were hunted like dogs. Jacopo de' Pazzi was thrown from a window, his body dragged through the mud and hanged from the Palazzo della Signoria. As a child, I hid in our modest home on Via Guicciardini, my heart pounding like a war drum. My father, Bernardo, an impoverished lawyer, taught me little of books then, but much of instinct. "Niccolò," he said, his voice low as we barred the door against the mob, "the wise man smells danger before it knocks." That day I learned to read the crowd's fury, the shift in eyes, the murmur of unrest. It was not thought, but gut, the animal wit that keeps one alive amid wolves. Without this foundation, higher levels crumble. Many a noble died that year for lacking it, their educated minds blind to the blade and the dark. I survived by heeding the wind's whisper, dodging alley brawls and plague-ridden quarters. This level is the beast within us all, honed by nature's cruel school. Ask yourself, do you sense peril before it strikes, or do you wait for the storm to drown you? Ascending now to level 2, practical intelligence, the craft of the everyday artisan. By my teens, Florence bloomed under Lorenzo the Magnificent, a golden age of art and commerce. Leonardo da Vinci sketched flying machines in workshops nearby, while Botticelli painted goddesses that seemed to breathe. My education began in earnest. I studied Latin, grammar, and the classics, Livy, Cicero, the histories of Rome. But practical wit came not from scrolls, but from the marketplace. At 15, I apprenticed briefly with a merchant, learning to haggle over silks from the East and spices from Venice. One vivid memory. In 1484, a great flood swelled the Arno, sweeping away bridges and drowning dozens. Our family lost much, but I saw opportunity. While others wailed, I gathered driftwood and sold it as fuel to desperate bakers. Turn calamity to coin, I thought, echoing the merchant's creed. This level is the builder's mind, calculating costs, forging tools, navigating trade. Lorenzo himself embodied it, balancing Florence's books while patronizing Michelangelo's chisel. Without practical smarts, dreams remain dust. I rose from poverty by mastering ledgers and deals, turning my father's meager library into a treasury of knowledge. Where do you rank? Can you mend what's broken, or do you let opportunity float away on the flood? The pyramid steepens with level 3, social intelligence, the dance of alliances and whispers. In 1494, the Medici fell. King Charles VIII of France invaded Italy, his cannons breaching walls that had stood for centuries. Piero de' Medici surrendered Florence without a fight, and the people rose, establishing a republic under the fiery preacher Girolamo Savonarola. Bonfires of the vanities consumed luxuries, paintings, books, jewels in the Piazza della Signoria. I was 25, eager for position. Savonarola's zeal captivated me at first. His sermons thundered against corruption, drawing crowds of thousands. But I observed the undercurrents, nobles plotting in taverns, priests scheming for power. Social wit is reading faces, forging bonds, knowing when to smile and when to strike. I befriended key figures like the gonfaloniere Pierre Soderin, using charm to secure my post in 1498 as secretary to the Second Chancery. My duties? Diplomacy, letters, espionage. A pivotal moment. In 1499, I negotiated with Caterina Sforza, the fierce Countess of Forli. She defended her castle against Cesare Borgia, even exposing herself on the ramparts to defy threats against her children. Men are fools to think a woman's spirit breaks easily, she told me in a secret meeting. I learned then the art of persuasion, flattery mixed with truth, alliances sealed with wine and words. This level separates courtiers from exiles. Savonarola lacked it. He burned bridges, and he himself was burned at the stake in 1498. I survived by weaving a web of friends. Reflect, do you command rooms with words, or do shadows swallow your voice? Higher still, level 4, strategic intelligence, the chessboard of power. My diplomatic missions honed this. In 1500, I traveled to France, courting King Louis XII. His court was a labyrinth of intrigue. Ambassadors spied, mistresses whispered secrets. I reported back to Florence. The French are bold but brittle, ally with care. But the true masterclass came in 1502 with Cesare Borgia, Duke Valentino, son of Pope Alexander VI. Sent to observe him, I witnessed his conquests. At Sinigalia, on December 31, 1502, Cesare invited his rebellious captains to a feast. They came, suspecting nothing. In a flash, his men strangled Vitellozzo Vitelli and Oliverotto de Fermo. Paolo Orsini and the Duke of Gravina were drowned later. Fortune favors the bold, he smirked, as blood pooled on the marble floor. I applied at home. In 1507, I organized Florence's militia, recruiting citizens over mercenaries, for a man's own arms are surer. We repelled Pisan rebels, proving my plan. This level is foreseeing moves, turning weakness to strength. Borgia rose meteorically, but fell when his father died in 1503, lacking adaptability. I endured by planning decades ahead. Where are you? Do you plot paths to victory or stumble into defeat? Now, the treacherous level 5, deceptive intelligence, the veil of illusions. After Borgia's fall, Pope Julius II ascended, a warrior pontiff who led armies in armor. In 1506, I saw him march on Bologna, sword in hand. The church militant, he called it. But deception's lesson came in 1512. The Medici returned with Spanish aid, sacking Prato and dissolving the Republic. I was dismissed, my militia disbanded. Accused of conspiracy, I was imprisoned in the Bargello, tortured on the rack, 6 turns of the rope, my shoulders nearly torn. I confessed nothing, for I was innocent. Released, I retired to my farm in Sant'Andrea in Percusina. There, in exile, I pondered deceit.
Men are so simple that the deceiver will always find someone ready to be deceived, I wrote. Borgia mastered it with false promises, Julius with holy wars masking greed. This level is the mask, feigning virtue while wielding vice. I used it subtly in writings, hiding truths in satire. Many princes fail here, their lies transparent. I survived by discerning falsehoods. Ask yourself, can you weave webs without entanglement, or do truths betray you? Approaching the summit, Level 6, Philosophical Intelligence, the mirror of self and society. Evenings on my farm, I donned courtly robes and conversed with ancients, Plutarch, Tacitus, in my study. By candlelight, I penned The Prince in 1513, dedicating it to Lorenzo de' Medici, hoping for favor. Philosophy is questioning why.